All right. We'll start seated and we'll just take a moment to come into this moment. Catch our breath. Find our breath. Follow the breath. And maybe even begin to elongate the inhale and the exhale. Focusing on feeling the breath. How you feel it begin to move you. And noticing that upward current of energy with the inhale. How it lifts your front body, lifting through the chest and maybe even straightening the head just a little bit more. And then we follow that energy on the exhale and allow it to glide down the back and let your shoulders relax a little bit more with every exhale. And maybe we notice as we breathe, just a slight, gentle pause between the inhale and the exhale. And maybe even a gentle pause after the exhale. Not trying to hold the breath. Just a little gentle pause. And then we'll turn and go ahead and lay down all the way on the back. We'll come all the way down to the ground and bring the knees up. Go ahead and squeeze the knees into the chest, grabbing hold of them with your hands and just rock a little side to side. And let the head move along with you, massaging along the spine. Massaging the back of the head, maybe even into those shoulders. If there's anything catchy back between the shoulder blades, and kind of roll into that a little bit. And then we'll let the feet rest back down on the mat. Take the arms out wide and we'll drop the knees over towards the right. Getting into our supine twist, beginning to stretch here, allowing the left shoulder to drop down towards the mat and allowing the torso to lengthen and stretch through the core, helping to support strong core muscles. And feeling the stretch all along the left leg, up from the knee all the way up the hip, beginning to stretch into the side of the hip. And then we'll shift the knees through center, lift the hips, reset, and then drop them over towards the left. Maybe shift the hips up under you a little bit, keeping the spine in one line. And then we'll coax the right shoulder down towards the mat so we can really open up on the right side. As we twist through the knees, and we draw the right rib cage over towards the right, help open up through the ribs, through the torso, helping us to breathe more efficiently. Continuing to keep that nice, full, deep breath. Keeping a balanced breath here. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Maybe even start to count a little, keeping it about 3 or 4 with our inhale, and about to 3 or to 4 with the exhale. Keeping a steady rhythm. And then we'll shift the hips back, draw the knees back to center. We'll squeeze the knees into the chest again. And we'll take the knees out wide then and rock side to side. Beginning to warm up the inside of the legs and massaging through the hips. And then we'll draw the knees in close and reach for the outside of our feet and draw the knees down. Happy baby pose. Here we circles with the feet. We can start our circles small, pressing up through the heels and drawing down as we grab the feet. Feeling that opposition of movement as we press the knees down and reach the heels up. And then we'll start to make our circles a little bit bigger. Starting to rock a little bit more side to side. Warming up through the hips. Letting that tailbone lift up off the mat. And then we'll draw the right knee all the way down and extend through the left foot, coming to a little bow and arrow pose. You can rock all the way onto that right hip if you want. We reach through the left foot, draw the right foot down. And we can keep that left knee bent or kind of work to straighten it as much as it will, beginning to work on a little hamstring stretch here. And then pull ourselves back to center. And then we'll rock all the way down onto the left side, drawing that left knee all the way down and reaching up through the right foot. Towards extending that right foot a little bit more, finding a nice deep hamstring stretch here. It's beginning to warm up through the lower body. We can rock a little bit with this, a little side to side. We'll take another breath here. And then we'll roll ourselves back to center, hug the knees in. Give them a squeeze, draw the nose up to the knees, squeeze it all up into a ball, and then bring the feet back down, head back down. And we'll snuggle the feet up towards the glutes and snuggle the shoulders up under the heart space, just slightly drawing them towards each other. Then we'll press down with the palms and then lift up with the hips into our bridge pose. So we'll draw, maybe the shoulders can come even closer together once we lift the hips into our full bridge, lifting the chest up to the sky and the chin tucked to the chest. And we'll take another breath like this, pressing firmly down into all four corners of the feet. Really using that to help press up and lift up through the hips. And maybe if the knees want to come out a little wider, let's try to draw the knees in towards each other, not so that they're close, touching, but just draw them so that they stay in line with the hips. And then exhale, we'll slowly lower the hips all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And land here for a moment. Take a breath. And then on our next inhale, we'll press back up into bridge pose, lifting the hips, snuggling the shoulders, pressing firmly down through the palms, and then we'll slowly begin to lift up the right foot. And press the right heel up towards the sky, and maybe even use that to lift that left hip a little bit higher. And then slowly we'll lower the hips, lower the right foot. We'll take a breath. And then on our next inhale, we'll lift up through the hips, snuggle those shoulders up together, and then lift up through the right heel. So lift the right heel up towards the sky, lifting left heel. Sorry, we did the right foot. We'll lift up through the left heel, pressing up through the left heel and the right hip. Take another breath, don't forget to breathe, and then we'll slowly lower the hips and the feet. And we'll take a breath here and release the shoulders. And take a little moment here to wiggle and jiggle and notice what you feel. And take another breath. On our next inhale, lift the hips and lift the hands. And we'll take them up and overhead, reaching really through your armpits, reaching those hands back behind you, and then exhale, lower the hips, lower the hands. And one more time, we lift the hips, lift the hands, reaching them overhead, and then exhale, float everything back down. And then we'll tick-tock the knees, a little left, a little right. And bring the knees back to center. And then we'll shift onto one side and press yourself up to seated.